Man, being in physical space is so great. I can truly appreciate wasting space with myself, my Simpsons game collection, and old console boxes. And to think, if I own these boxes digitally, what if PlayStation decides to stop production of PS3 boxes? I would lose everything. I've had a report for someone breaking the laws of physical space. Oi, that's no way to store Speed Racer on the DS. Alright, that's it for you. I'm sending you to digital prison. Yeah, I probably deserve it. Hey, I'm back, and call me a New Mexico landfill because I love garbage old games. Which is why my new life in the TV may not be so bad after all. Look, I can put my lampers where I used to sit. But how am I ever going to fulfill my purpose of owning every Ratchet & Clank game if I'm now completely digital? Digital games. It makes sense. It's the way everything is heading towards. Think about it. I hate having cash because I leave it at home. I hate paying $20 if I want to buy a new movie, and I would rather die than have to buy every song I have on Spotify. But yet, I'll put up with the grueling task of getting up, opening the case, taking out a disc and putting it into a console. Oh no, there's already a disc in it. So now I have to find a safe spot to put the disc, take the other disc from the console, find where it goes, open the case, put the game back, and squeeze the game back into my collection. Every time I want to change game. Meanwhile, if I own them digitally, done. With things like Xbox Game Pass and the Switch and the insane prices on some of these physical games, it's becoming easier and easier to choose digital over physical. For $20, I can get a massive hard drive and store any game I might potentially play, so if I do decide I want to play a certain game, it's no fuss, no install times or anything. And a big reason people go physical is so download times are faster. But ever since last gen, that reason is invalid. Recently, I bought the Xbox Series X edition of Far Cry 6, but it didn't even have that version on the disc, so I had to install a 70 gig update before even booting it up. It literally refused to even open without the update, so if this game is delisted in the future, I would only be able to play it on the Xbox One. Seems like every game requires a download now. Why not just buy a digital license? Oh yeah, now I'm definitely in the physical is better group. But I feel like whenever this debate comes up, it's always, oh, you only pay for a license, not the game, so you don't even own it, therefore physical is better. Printing games can be expensive. You need manufacturing, retail partnerships, shipping systems in place, before you even know if a game's going to be a success or not. It's a massive risk, which if you're a multi-million-dollar company making a bad game, then it's funny when it flops. But for a lot of indie devs, the risk isn't worth it. Digital platforms like Steam just have a small investment. While this can get your game lost in a sea of garbage, you can use that money on marketing. Games like Minecraft, Terraria, Surgeon Sim would never be as successful as they are now, without the worry of financial risk of a physical release. Then, after the game does well then they can release physical versions for people who want to preserve them. Not only that, but games these days rely on updates or online multiplayer for the game to be playable in the first place, so it's irrelevant if you own them physically. Not to mention the Switch. Having a portable console is one of my favourite things this generation, even though I never use it portably since I'm too socially awkward to bust out this thing on a train or something. But needing to carry around all these carts, which I am now running out of room in my case, so I have to choose between the ones to bring or just buy a bigger case, ruining the fact that it's portable. Like at this point I can just bring my PS5. Having a ton of games downloaded onto your Switch, especially the ones you might play at a moment's notice like Terraria, Binding of Isaac or even Mario Kart. It's just much simpler to buy a massive SD card and just download all the games from the shop and never have to worry about leaving a game at home. While digital allows for a cheap way to see if people will buy a game or not, it can also be an excuse to limit a release of a game. Like 3D All-Stars and Fire Emblem have been demanded for a long time. So finally, Nintendo decides it wants to make a lot of money, so they develop both games. But there's a catch. You can only buy them in a certain period of time. Now with 3D All-Stars, this was kind of meaningless since it also has a physical release. Trying to stop people from buying a physical game is near impossible, because there's trade-ins and eBay. But Fire Emblem? That's it. It's gone. There's no longer an easy way to play this game now, and of course there's the fact that these stores will shut down. Well, so far this has only applied to Nintendo. The shutdown of the Wii store really made people realize that digital games relies on the company thinking game preservation is important or not. Now, Nintendo clearly does appreciate the back catalogue, that's why they re-release games all the time, even if it is just a way for you to buy them again. Wait, so they don't care? They just like money? Fair enough. Well, PlayStation had the same idea a little while ago. I feel like PS3 games and Vita are going to be way harder to port than the newer consoles. Xbox, on the other hand, doesn't really care about making money on the old games. Sure, they'll resell them on their online store, but did you buy Sonic & Knuckles digitally on the 360 for $2 a decade ago? It's already installed on your Series X at no extra cost. I think this shows if a company is dedicated into pleasing their customers and preserving their older games, people shouldn't be worried about their digital games being lost. Sadly, an entire business model can change the moment a new CEO is hired. And at any moment they can just shut down everything. Surely there has to be a way for the license from a disc to be saved to your account that lets you play your games digitally until the servers are down, and that's when you have to put your game in each time. The problem is, with physical copies, publishers fork out more money in printing costs, and then retailers take a cut from the profits. But on an online store, they can claim 100% of the profits, which is definitely what every company wants. With PlayStation and Xbox both having digital only consoles, and now Nintendo only having sales of their games on the eShop, while still charging $80 for Mario Odyssey physically. While physical games will probably stick around for a good while, I think most companies will take the Xbox model and only have the high-end systems have a built-in disc tray. You know what? I hate being digital. I feel like I constantly have pins and needles. My body gets all distorted when the aspect ratio changes, and every drink of water tastes like sparkling water.